Top of the Dow, Merck surging 36% in 2018, the best year since 2006, fueled by blockbuster sales of its cancer drug. Meanwhile, as you can see, Elizabeth Warren putting her toe, more than her toe, her whole foot in the water in terms of the 2020 race. She has formed an exploratory committee for a possible presidential run today. Her announcement coming over a year before the Iowa caucuses. Now, Warren is the first high-profile Democrat to take formal action towards a presidential campaign. Warren's platform expected to continue with her attack on corporate America. Take a listen.
These aren't cracks that families are falling into. They're traps. America's middle class is under attack. How do we get here? Billionaires and big corporations decided they wanted more of the pie, and they enlisted politicians to cut them a fatter slice.
Oh, of course, it's big business's fault. How far will her message get with voters, gang?
I don't think very far at all, David. And what she fails to forget is that most of the billionaires, the richest men and women in the world, definitely in the country, are in Silicon Valley. They're probably some of her biggest backers. So a war against the wealthy right now may not be ideal for her as a winning strategy.
I hate to admit it, but Heather has a point there. Look, it was
okay.
Don't hate to admit it.
No, she has a good point.
Not?
It was a smart thing to do politically to be the first in to do it this early. She'll attract some donors sooner than some others. She may even block some people, but I got to tell you, folks, don't get too excited because she ain't going that far.
Yeah, you know, first of all, there's a strong progressive message out there that attracts voters, and there's one that's like evil billionaires are just stealing money from the middle class, like that's somehow the economy works, rather than like something a little bit more like these are the golden gooses and we want to milk the eggs and not hurt the gooses and encourage gooses to live here and pay for all the wonderful infrastructure and everything else that other people can't afford out of their own income. So it's too anti. You know, no one wants her more into the election than the president. There's a Pete Hegswick did an interview recently. We should take a quick look at that and then talk about how Trump is excited about Elizabeth dipping her moccasin into the race.
Elizabeth Warren will be the first. She did very badly in proving that she was of Indian heritage. That didn't work out too well. I think you have more than she does, and maybe I do too, and I have nothing. So, you know, we'll see how she does. I wish her well. I hope she does well. I'd love to run against her.
She says she's in the fight all the way, Mr. President. Do you really think she believes she can win?
Well, that I don't know. You'd have to ask her psychiatrist.
You know, the woman actually has been a successful professor and started, which was kind of a good idea, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. However, the actual deliverables to the consumers, to the voters, to the middle class being robbed by billionaires has really been weak. You know, during this tenure, since they created this new agency, a $600 million budget, we've had crypto coin scams coming and going. We've had, you know, penny auctions coming and going. We've had sports gambling increasing. We've had high-fee annuities have been cracked down. Scam calls. There's just so little they've actually done for the consumer. There's been some good things, but it's been a new entity that hasn't even accomplished what it was set out to do.
The problem is I've been hearing this same socialist BS since my bar mitzvah. It never, ever changes. It's all the same. The rich are bad. The middle class are being screwed. And look, the problem with somebody like Elizabeth Warren is that she's just socialist with our money. With ourselves, she's quite the capitalist and made a ton of money, and it's just tiresome. They're just all about rules and regulations and fees and fines and mandates and taxes because they just think they're smarter than the people of this country that are working their tail off to improve themselves. It's just tiresome. It's been going on for too long.
The other thing is that her message that the middle class is never been worse off is just, I don't think it's going to resonate. I mean, the middle class, there are more jobs now than ever for the middle class, than ever in my lifetime. That gives folks in the middle class more leverage to get their wages up, and wages are going up. So there are more jobs, higher wages, more buying power. I just wonder whether her message that this is the worst time for the middle class is going to pass.
I really don't think it will.
It's a 2008 message.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 2008 message, not now. I think President Trump has won over a lot of the middle class, so I'm not sure that's the right message she should be having right now. But look, her ambitions are no secret. She's had many town hall meetings in areas of Massachusetts where the president carried those areas, and she's been demanding for tax returns for the IRS to release tax returns of anyone running for office. That's no surprise, as we know that she has been demanding President Trump release his tax return. That's been a theme of hers.
So I'm going to agree that her pitch was a much better 2006 pitch, and or 2016 pitch, sorry, and that there are a lot of Democrats out there who feel that she missed her opportunity by not running in 2016, aren't feeling a lot for her here. At the same time, yes, I agree the middle class is better off than she's painting it. I don't agree that the middle class is as hooked on the president as they were back in 2016. And I got to ask the question, did we really need that final remark by the president?
Well, but who's in the Democrat Party that thinks about lower taxes, stronger business, less regulations? The people are the driving force.
If you're the one, you should run.
You haven't said anything yet that I don't agree with, and yet I'm a Democrat because I do support workers. Of course, I also support unions, so you got that problem.
But the point, I think Gary and Rick can come together here, because the fact is that the Democrat Party, there are a lot of people, I believe, like Rick in the Democrat Party, and their voice is being shouted out.
They're not heard. Yeah. I think moderate Democratic voices in the Democratic Party, like Rick's, aren't being heard, David. I think they might be being drowned out by left-wing liberals, far-left liberals like Elizabeth Warren and Nancy Pelosi. I think that may be the problem. We need more Democrats like Rick to express his views.
There's honestly more than you think. We'll see how the dialogue goes over the next few years.
JFK could not be elected at this point in time with the way this party is going.
That's possible.
They continue to be for more and bigger government, less and less of the economy. They are more of being the Hoover vacuum of our taxes in order to solidify their power, and it never ends. And I keep waiting for one day that one person on the left that maybe is close to the middle that I can actually listen to. I can't even listen to any of these people that look to be carrying.
You're also forgetting something else about JFK. He was a war hero as well. I mean, he really had it all. So I think he may still have been elected. But again, there's nobody like JFK running in the Democrat Party.
Gary, we only do it to aggravate you. I think you should know that.